Yoi, kita udah live. Ya, internet sudah baik ya. Ya, akhirnya internet kita lebih baik daripada sebelumnya. Teret. Kita akan ini
If you
ya,
ever want to trade
sekarang
tactics, I'm always ready.
mau ini menyelesaikan quest 9 batu GEO. Kita di tempatnya dulu lah, kita jalan. GG slope. Let's go. Kita ke WA dulu, kita mau share. Wow.
Cold beer after a hard day's work. Nothing like it. It's hard to remain on dry land for so long. Can never quite seem to get my land legs back.
Yo, gaskan yuk. Halo teman-teman ETS Madis bang. Sudah. Aduh. Sudah, ETS Madisnya udah selesai. kita solo. Oh iya, tambahin solo ya. Solo. Mamans.
Cold big.
Sudah ini saya udah mandi tahun lalu. Mana nih CJ slope-nya? Kok saya tolong ya? Asik. Mantap. Buka mabar nggak ya? Nggak. Kenapa kita pakai pakaian ampas, bos? Party apa ya? Nggak ada shortcut. Bisa ada Gary nih. Gary mantap banget nih. Main Genshin nggak, Gary? Kayaknya kita butuhnya elektro deh. Kayaknya di dalam di sini. Harus ada jamnya nggak sih? Oh enggak. Main terus. Oh, aktifin dulu. Oh enggak. Gimana sih nih? Ini gimana sih, Cuk? Oh ya ini. Nah, kita tahan. Kita record dulu ya. Record juga. Tahan, ulangi lagi. Kita udah selesai. Ya, kita sekarang lagi ada di GG Slope, mau ngerjakan misi yang 9 GEO itu yang rahasia tuh, yang bisa dapat bintang 5 pertama kita. Nggak tahu susah apa enggak ya? Nggak tahu lah. Kita pasang dulu. No Genshin Tetris wae, mantap. Sudoku lah, Tetris apa cuy? Kok nge-lag? Hilang bos. Iya. Kok kesana? Tolong itu bonekanya. lumayan. Arrowhead pakai upgrade talent. Drop. Nah, nice. Dua lagi drop. Mana lagi pilar? 1, 2. Nah, GEO di sini. Yang terakhir. Sudah keluar. Itu pintunya yang di sana ya. Pintu kematian. Oh, ada. Bentar, kita diam dulu ngeliatin ngadep mana kepalanya. Woi, mana nih? Kita pasang. Tetris is good. Iya sih, tapi terlalu algoritmis. Kayak gimana sih? Tapi random gitu loh. Iya sih, nggak random sih harusnya. Ya nggak ngerti lah, aku noob main Tetris. Bisa bos. Kita ambil dulu. Jadi setiap kita masukin gituan, kita dapat cash ya kan? Yang exquisite. Kita ambil dulu. Nah, bos. Kita pakai diesel biar energi recharge. Energi recharge mantap. 6 pilar kedamaian, siap. 6 pilar kedamaian. Padahal musuhnya susah katanya. Aing nggak tahu. Makanya nggak bisa. Oh, lagi dia. Oh, di sini. Nah. Kok turun, bos? Oh iya. Di sini di sana aja deh. Kok sih? Udah di sini aja. Terus ke sana. Kepalanya di sana ya. Kita pasang dulu. Nah. Duar meledak. Dapat chest. Misinya, ini nama misinya. 6 pilar kedamaian. Siap damai. 1, 2. Oh, di kanan. Sini. Nah. Jatuh, bos. Siap. 4, 5 to go, bos. Lagi 5. Let's go. Oh ya, ini udah dilatih dulu, kita bisa nggak ngelawan ginian. Ya, nge-lag ya, ampun. 500 dong. Tidak. Kita belum ascen ini ya. Ascen itu pilar nggak ya? Harusnya pilar ya. Pilar kematian. Aduh. Agak sulit ya naik. Nggak bisa, bos. Sini. Nah. Loh, kok bisa masukin? Oke, ya udah ya. Udah 1. Suaraku kedengeran nggak, guys? Nggak tahu sih. Oh, walaupun pendek tetap termasuk pilar. Oke, berarti yang di atas tadi pilar ya. info aja, info. Gede bet gede. Gede bet gede kayak apa ya? Kita ignore aja. Udah punya banyak ini. Ada anginnya ya, apa ya? Iya, stamina udah penuh ya, 240 kita. Mau ke sana tapi mager. Jangan lewat aja. Numpang lewat, guys. Iya, lagi 3. Dua, udah dapat chest. Mana lagi yang belum? Itu belum ya yang di atas. Ini juga belum. Kita tuh gimana dong? Alah, kita lawan aja. Baru misi ini soalnya. Nah, lebih mudah. Oke ya, kita udah tahu gimana tuh. Ini kenapa sih rasa ter? Super kondat, siap. Nektarku jatuh. Aduh, cuma dapet itu doang. Tak lawan gara-gara memang butuh nektar, bos. Gak tahu buat apa. Buat talent kali. Gak tahu sih. Wah, kakak tidak mengerti. Ajarin dong guys yang udah ngerti, udah selesai. Nggak ngerti nih cara mainnya nih. Mana mukanya? Halo, kakak. Yuk lagi 2 yuk, bisa yuk. Baru buka pagar nih anggapannya. Belum ngelawan yang isi rumahnya. Tadi lebah gitu. Waduh, serem bos. Ya, masih gini. Bill, lu masuk dungeonnya habis madis gak? Kalau habis madis gua ikutan gak? Gimana ya? Gak tahu sih. Apa aku mau cepetan apa enggak ya? Aduh. Lama nggak mandisnya? Jam berapa sih mandis? hadisnya jam berapa guys? Aku nggak ngerti guys. Aing tidak mengerti bos. Udah ya, mana chestnya? Mandi abis ini jam 7. Wah lama sih. Kayaknya aku solo aja deh. Gak apa. Yang satu mana ya? Tapi masa udah lihat fotonya? Solo aja aku nggak apa-apa deh nih. Santai. Kuat kok ini. Hunter doang. Ini apa namanya? Kita sekarang ngambil dapetnya deh. Biar sekali kerja bos. Banyak chest ya. Ntar kalau udah selesai kita ngambil-ngambilin dah. Aku gak mau ngurangin darah dulu lah. Aman bos, jauh. Oke Den. Oke. Makasih banyak sudah menawarkan diri anjas. Nah, tak kira tuh levelnya tinggi banget gitu kan. Takut aja kalau tahu sendiri. Ternyata levelnya masih di bawah. Sebelum masuk kita lihat-lihat apa bisa di-ascend. Masih kurang banyak bos, harus farming lagi cu. Ini nggak usah tanyain, sharing aja tanyain. Bisa, aduh mahal bet soalnya. 8.13 lagi 3 ya. Nyari cangnya susah soalnya. Nih nyari pilihannya nih. Kenapa aku pencet escape? Ya ampun. Tolol banget loh. Ya ampun. Ada-ada aja loh mencet Aduh. Bisa-bisanya. Bisa-bisanya tak keluarin. Ya ampun. Gak bener bos. Oh aku salah. Salah ngasih link kali ya. Oh ya ada kurang A nya bos. Kurang A dong. Tolol bet tolol. Udah salah lagi nih, salah pencet lagi. Nggak tahu ya kenapa kalau aku streaming Genshin nih harus window gitu loh dia. Jadinya kayak bisa kepencet jadinya. Kursornya juga kelihatan di layar harusnya. Ya. Oke, kita udah nggak bisa sih kalau lihat kayak gitu. Bisa kita pakai yang cukup Diona yang pakai tangki adalah YOLO. Search for the ruins. kita turun aja pelan-pelan kayak lagi assalamualaikum gitu. Ini kayak hancurin dulu tadi terada di sini biar cepet. Nah juga ada yang kayak gitu kan. Hancurin dulu. Halo, halo, bisa?
On reveal the exercise camp.
Mel.
Can't handle your drink. On reveal the Shadow Raven, let night fall. You're toast.
Kenapa sih minggir-minggir semua nih? Takut ya?
Take this.
Jangan lupa Diona, biar ada gunanya Diona. Ampun DJ. Biar curi.
Go, go. Pew-pew. Exercise camp into the fight.
Kok stone-nya hancurin dulu. Udah.
Crew.
Anjing meninggal.
Silver. Oh.
Water.
Ah meninggal. Itu kenapa cuy?
I'm here.
Kok meninggal sih? Kenapa sih? Api.
Where'd that come from?
Sakit.
Pew-pew.
Tolong.
Oh.
Nggak boleh kena.
Insubordination.
Fräulein.
Sumpah aing nggak ngerti cuy. Gimana cara ngedamage dia tuh? Mana ya? Alah, meninggal aja, meninggal.
Crew. That silver. Oh.
Satu dendam, dua Gelvica Kacin, satu. Oh, yang susah yang Ruin Hunter yang ini ya. Oke. Tuh, perlu doping nggak ya? Mau doping tapi malas. Ayo Geo, hidupkan saya. Hidupkan saya. Yang pasti sih butuh visual ya. Elemental reaction lagi. Aku nggak punya crit damage ya di ini. Di visual nggak punya artifact yang damage. Terus energi recharge aku pakai. Tolol banget ya. Ini harusnya sih paling bener dipasang crit ya. Ntar aja ya. Siapa bisa nih? Percaya aja nggak sih? Iya, aku tahu maksudnya lawannya Ruin Hunter tuh ternyata sakit banget, Cuk. Gak boleh kena. Ya udah, aku matiin dulu apinya tuh ganggu banget. Pasang osnya di tengah terus. Oke, dan perlu baca yang di tengah itu nggak? Mana dia, bos? Oke, family bisa. Ayo, bisa yuk. Kebanyakan pyro sih. Kita bawa air aja ya. Oh, langsung lawan ginian.
Brace you!
Gak boleh kena. Ih,
Haven't won yet.
itu dua. Yang gede.
By royal decree!
Crew.
Apinya sakit banget.
Silver. Oh,
Oh, gak boleh kena.
This realm is no home. We're a princess.
Aduh, matiin api aja nggak bisa, bos. Tolol banget aku main Genshin ini. Anjing. Start ampas ya. Bisa. Yuk. Bisa yuk. Rasanya sakit banget loh yang terakhir. Kayaknya devnya kurang deh. Perlu makan buah kayaknya. Biar GG ini. Anti doping. Lewat samping aja lah. Kalau lewat depan YOLO banget, Cuk. Sakit banget juga apinya tuh. Bedoku mati gara-gara api, bos. Yes. Mau lihat saya dibantai? Wah, ayo. Bisa nggak ya? Paling ada kayak di sana nih. Wah, sakit bet.
Get them!
Tadi kan beda. Gara-gara tadi aku tolol banget. Dari mana? Setir.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
Au, au.
Eat this. Booba, get them.
Hahaha. Hahaha. Iya, dengan darah segini ya. Darah segini ya.
Oh,
Darah segini ya.
reveal that.
Tolol bet, tolol. Pokok jangan sampai kena, terus harus di-hit. Oke, oke, oke. Hihi. Inilah hadiah kita, bos. Luxurious chest, precious chest, dan ini Royal Flora. Mantep banget. Kita buka yang precious. Bintang 5 pertama kita, bos. Semoga bagus tau. This ruin give payment the creeps. HP, crit damage, crit. Oke banget, bagus. Gak apa-apa ya, walaupun 9. Aduh, jelek sih sebenarnya kalau 3 kayak gini. Ampas banget, ampas. Ya lah, gak apa-apa. Kita naikin sampai 20. Korban yang lain itu masukin ke visal bagus ini. Dapat setuju lain. Udah selesai gitu. Dual ring. Oh, kita jual dulu dual ringnya. Oke. Kita jual dulu dual ringnya, guys. Udah selesai. Recordnya masih nggak ya? Masih nggak ya? Masih dah. Ntar kalau udah selesai misinya udah dapat apa? Adventurerank gitu. Kita jual Lang. Babal. Pecah-pecah, saya siapa sya. Oke. Dan air beban mana siapa apa? Coba. Orang. Di sana 200 ribu orang kita aku nggak tahu sih harusnya berapa di harganya paling banyak. Katanya sih 200 ribu merah dan makanan ya. Nah nih 1800 merah. Katanya ini sih yang paling bagus. Selesai. Nah, katanya tadi ya. Oke. Kita udah dapat 5 makanan terbaik. Mau makan yang bagus-bagus lah. 20.000 mora dibandingkan dengan makanan sih, makanan lebih gede ya. Di saat kita berdesak, kita masih bisa makan, bos. Heal saya, bos. Sampai penuh. Nice. kita terus kita mau ini sih apa namanya Art 3 Art 1.3 ya Art 1 chapter 3 mana oh ini sih. 1.3 How is my reputation in Liyue? Lordship Pavilion, Bookwin, Nine Pillar of Peace, Landscape. Ini kurang 7.8. Nah kita a new star approaches abis ini. Kita langsung kita endor. Kita udah berapa kilo? 2 giga. Sisa lagi. Rekor lagi. Oke guys, kita sekarang mau ke Floating Palace. Palamu floating. Ke Palamu floating kita guys. Mantap kali guys. Ya guys, nggak salah gitu. Oh paling bagus lewat akar-akar gitu ya kayaknya.
Back at ya!
Nggak mau sih dia. Nah, ini dia. Aneh bukan sumpah aneh. Ini dia. Kita udah ngambil sih yang service station. Kok ada gituan sih? Ya lah. Cabut. Nggak bisa berlawan gini kan. Matanya kan kelemahannya ya. Kayaknya dengan harus kekerasan sih kayaknya. Berubah aja jadi os. Nyangkut osnya. Bos. Nah, itu dong. Oke. Masa nggak ngelawan ini ya? Bisa nggak lawan musuh. Ganti aja Dionanya udah.
Hey, look! Since this is the right place, it must have some... Yes, this must...
Nah, padahal bukan sih kayaknya. Kayaknya orang yang di bawah tuh kayaknya. Halo. Eh.
It only takes us up to here. Aw, if that wind current was stronger, we'd be able to reach... Huh? Why? Or... Oh, alright. Let's... Oh. Hang on a moment. Looks like we've gotten close to the Guizhong Ballista. Why don't we shoot you up to the Jade Chamber?
No thanks.
Oh, right. This method does seem a bit unsafe.
Ya.
Oh, that's right. Now that you mention it, we could use the Guizhong Ballista to see if there's another way up.
Kayaknya lewat orang yang di bawah tuh. Ada yang kayak di penjaga gitu. Mana bujang balista, bujang. Bohong, cuk, orang nggak kelihatan dari sana tadi. Paimon di unknown god. This line samanya. Gaskan. Kita YOLO.
Halt! Who trespasses on these hallowed grounds?
Exactly. We're invited guests. What makes you think you can treat us like this? No. Wait. Maybe this was Ningguang's plan all along. She pretended to invite us to the Jade Chamber, but set up a millilith ambush here to arrest us.
Kayaknya bukan deh.
Now Paimon's mad. You, over there. This is a trick, isn't it? How shameless.
What? We're just on guard duty. What do you mean, shameless?
What nonsense! Seize these suspicious intruders at once!
Well, here they...
Matiin aja lah. Serang aku. Loh, pas aku kayak gini gak diserang.
By royal decree.
Sini. Sini mama.
To arms! Take the target alive!
Kita takut alive.
Shadow Raven, Black Knight Call.
Bested! Who goes there? Attack!
Kena api aja mati, bos.
Beaten.
Ya.
Stop! What's all this about?
Lady Coaching, these two
Checking.
strange people suddenly appeared.
Ada checking,
They seem to
bos.
have designs on the Guizhong Ballista.
Who are you calling strange?
Kita.
You want to go to the Jade Chamber? Who are you?
Wis.
We're invited guests here to look for the Lila Chising. Who are you?
Kita mau ke Chamber, bos. Diundang sama Ningguang, bos. Saya Keking. Siapa saya?
Well, as it happens, I am one of the Liyue Qixing.
Oh, dia salah satu sama Ningguang.
Oh,
I'm Kuching, the Yuheng of the Qixing.
Yuheng, apa Yuheng?
I know of you, traveler. You're Ningguang's guests, yes? Didn't expect to meet you here in the mountains.
Wow. Paimon didn't think we'd meet some super rich big shot out here in the middle of nowhere either.
The Guizhong Ballista in Tianheng Pass has long been in disrepair, and yet it was fixed in a single night. I came here to investigate that occurrence. These Millilith are just here to guard the scene, not to arrest anyone.
So this was all a misunderstanding?
Anyway, for a mortal to be able to repair an Adepti mechanism is quite the mystery, even to the Qixing.
Oh, jadi oh ya, oke, balistanya.
That was... Eh? Oh, right. So, Lady Yuhang, might you have any idea why Lady Tianquan invited us to go to the Jade Chamber?
Just call me Kuching.
Kayak king.
I'd say that Ningguang's purpose is to request that the savior of Mondstadt take a more neutral stance, or at least to not wholly side with the Adepti.
We're not taking sides. We spoke with the Adepti. They want to protect Liyue as well.
When you say protect, you're referring to their sanctimonious arrogance, aren't you?
Huh?
You are mortals and thus under their protection. There was no way they would have regarded you as someone with the ability to assassinate a god. Naturally, they would also regard Ningguang's locking down the area, questioning the citizenry, and pursuit of the assassin to be pointless work. Perhaps they even wonder if there might be a cover-up. I'll say it like it is. They're underestimating.
Well, you've got a point there. Still, this is the first time Paimon's seen a person from Liyue who doesn't respect the gods or the Adepti.
Should I respect the shallow sense of time and condescension to mortals that has caused them to delay in moving against us, Qixing? Forget it. I shouldn't speak of them this way. This skepticism is mine alone, and Ningguang does not share it. Either way, I will admit that the actions of the Adepti this time were quite restrained. Rex Lapis's death is indeed an how surprisingly civilized of them. Well, for Ningguang, she would talk anything and everything out if she could. But I doubt the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Li? I'll stop. You should both be off to the Jade. The cream of Liyue's merc.
Favor? But, wait, that's right. Greeting gifts are as...
All right. You can decide on your greeting gift yourselves. Let me tell you, you didn't actually have to come to Mount Tianheng. Go back to Liyue Harbor. Find a guide at the Well then, may we meet again, traveler.
Well, that Yuhang. So, what? Oh, right. Paimon dreamed of an amazing... Paimon has a feeling that it would be perfect for a super... Why don't we go with that for a gift? Nope. But Paimon's sure that we just need to make it with some boom shakalaka. Let's go gather ingredients.
Wah, kakak. Mana nyari? Ya Allah, harus nyari ya. Boom laka-laka ya. Boom shakalaka, mantap bos. Mantap bos. Mana ya? Oke.
Ooh, look at that slime. It looks crystal clear. Very delicious. That's the one.
Paimon, sukanya makan slime. Mantap bos. Nah, ini kan auto. Langsung diperhatiin bos.
Huh? Is it just Paimon? Or is there a sweet fragrance in the air? Huh? Did you hear that? No! That was definitely someone in trouble. Uh-oh.
Aduh, paling
Back at ya!
emergency food.
Animal hypostate absorption.
Nah, jangan-jangan dia yang punya ininya. Ya, resepnya. Nah, kayak gitu.
Thank you for your help, kind travelers. If you hadn't come to my aid, I surely would have rotted in this cell. Those treasure hoarders, when their mood was good, they'd rearrange those pots of sweet flowers. When they were in a bad mood, they'd rearrange my face.
I was
Mukanya
nothing.
bos yang
You
di
don't need to thank us all at once or anything.
I understand. Don't worry. Don't say that. I only escaped this predicament because of you. I'm Meng Dan, a supplier for Mingxing jewelry in Liyue Harbor. I often walk around these mountains, and I never expected that those treasure hoarders would have their eyes on the same ruins that I had. Before I knew it, they'd caught and imprisoned me. Is there anything that you lack? Antiques, treasure, various knickknacks.
Wait a moment. Actually,
Oh? And what might that?
do you have a box that can store presents? We'd like a pretty one. The kind that you can use to store snacks.
Of course we do. How can one sell antiques without gift boxes? At Mingxing Jewelry, we have the best gift wrapping service, and now just give me a moment and I'll let the boss know. You can go see her whenever you require that box.
Great! Paimon Sugar Frost.
Mantap, box ternyata ya, bukan resepnya. Bos. Siap. Siap bosku. Bosku. Aduh. Gaskan bosku.
told us that we could get a nice and shiny box from your store.
Uncle Meng already told me about it. Thank you both for saving him. Many of the best goods in our store were found by Uncle Meng. If anything were to happen to him, it would be impossible for us to continue doing business. Here, this container is itself an antique, with at least 140 years of history. It's...
Yep. Hang on a moment. Could we borrow one other thing?
Sure, please help yourselves, as long as it's on our shelves.
Traveler, this clay pot looks really awesome. If we use an antique as our mixing bowl, we should be able to make a great snack. It's done! The one and only sugar-frosted slime!
Oh yes, you might want to use these 2 freshly picked flowers as decorations.
Woohoo! It looks beautiful!
Yes.
Great! Now that we've put all that we've got into this box...
Serah-serah Paimon lah, unknown god. Mantap bos. Iya, dikasih jalan kita naik tembok ya bos, mantap.
That's what we should say. Excuse me, do you sell the moon here?
Yes. How many would you like?
It's not convenient to speak of numbers here.
Ah, well said. Please, use this to ascend to the chamber. Yes, speaking of which, are you two the guests that Lady Ningguang has arranged to meet with today?
Yes, kita berdua.
Yep.
Bos.
And yet the code they used was not the one for guests, but for the Yuheng. What's going on here?
Kita pro player berarti ya, Cuk, di sini. Traveler. Gak kehabisan, bos. Woi, datang, bos.
I've been waiting for you, returnee from Joyun Karst.
It's Ningguang! Since this is our first meeting, we've prepared a gift. I hope you like it.
Oh, for me. You have my thanks. It seems that I have made things difficult for you, considering that you were supposed to be my guests.
Bener banget, Cuk. Ngapain, Cuk?
Oh no, it's nothing.
I'm glad you like it too. This palace floats in the skies, higher than the peak of any mountain. From this vantage point, one may survey all of Liyue. I have been gathering the funds necessary to build it from the time I began learning the merchant's craft. And since becoming the Tianquan, I have spared no effort in hiring the best craftsmen to constantly extend it. At first, it was but the size of one room. Now, it is large enough to blot out the moon in the skies above Liyue. One day, I believe it will overshadow all 7 nations. Not many from outside Liyue earn the right to ascend to the Jade Chamber. But I have been in correspondence with the acting Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, who spoke highly of you. As such, I have been putting eyes and ears out ever since you reached Liyue.
What?
Waduh. Mata-mata, bos.
And I finally got wind of your movements when you were on the way to Wangshu Inn.
Wait, was Vergoldet one of your people?
Just Vergoldet? No. Everyone at Wangshu Inn is one of ours. At the Guizhang Ballista, yes?
You weren't peeking on us from the skies the whole time, were you?
I fear that peeking would have been a little difficult from this altitude. Our eyes and ears are more than sufficient. You two are very interesting people, after all. It would be natural to take an interest. Well, I wouldn't expect you to trust us, considering that you have had far more interactions with the Adepti. The reason I invited you here was to clear up some misunderstandings.
Oke, kita bicara dulu. Kenapa tidak langsung berbicara?
I believe that you've heard of the Archon War. Many gods used to walk this earth, and many long wars were fought between them that did not abate until 2,000 years ago. Much blood was shed, and many lives were lost. In the end, only 7 victors remained standing in Teyvat. They built cities and nations on the corpses of the vanquished, and thus began the era of the 7. You can see Goyun Stone Forest from here, I trust. It is no natural rock formation. Those are giant spears of rock hurled by Rex Lapis during the war. Beneath the spears lie those cast down by Rex Lapis in those days, gods that failed to seize the title of Archon. Not only is it true that gods may die, but so too has the membership of the 7 changed over the last 2 millennia. Rex Lapis's passing is an unimaginable disaster for Liyue, but the Order of the 7 will not collapse simply because of that. Another Lord of GEO will arise sooner or later. Yet, how are we to forget Rex Lapis? When that time comes, the relationship between the people of Liyue and the gods and Adepti will surely be different from before. Even in a new era, the Liyue Qixing remain Rex Lapis's former subjects. Do you really think us capable of having played a part in his demise? Of lacking the foresight to see the certain repercussions? That day at Yujing Terrace, it was also very sudden. Even I was caught completely off guard. You were there, you no doubt saw. But our enemy has long lain hidden within the harbor. If we do not act against them now, they will surely gain the upper hand. Hiding the Exuvia was a necessary maneuver to take the initiative back. To play...
Who's this enemy you're talking about?
What do you think, traveler?
Huh? What are you two talking about?
Well answered.
Huh?
The scenery out here is fine indeed, but the wind is a little strong. Our preparations to receive guests within are complete. So please, this way.
Anjas. Masuk bos. Kita masuk jet chamber yang sangat mahal ini bos. Bisa mengapung di udara bos. Gimana nih bos?
Wowee! What a huge hall! Paimon's never seen such a fancy place before.
Kita mau mencari sesuatu guys. Siapa yang cita-cita mencari sesuatu?
Be at ease, you two. Make yourselves at home if you wish.
Can we really?
I have invited you two here as friends. And when friends come over to play, our enjoyment comes first. Naturally.
Ooh! Isn't this that legendary wall?
Why, you've kept your ear to the ground, I see.
That's because even the storytellers are talking about it. Everyone's after a piece of paper from that wall. It's super famous.
That's because that wall records Leo's secrets. Merchants have always been attracted to secrets. But the secrets of the mercantile world are of no interest to you, are they, traveler? You're rather special, really, and I think you're quite aware of that. If possible, I'd like to have your trust.
Kita akan menguasai tujuh
But if you
elemen.
were to choose the more trustworthy person between myself and Kuching... You'd pick Kuching? I originally thought her a bit too hard-headed. With someone of her character on the Qixing, I've had some extra messes to clean up behind the scenes. But after she said those words, the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue? Well, I must say that quite a few of my doubts have been dispelled. I won't deny that Rex Lapis's passing seems advantageous to us. But, for Liyue's sake, we cannot allow ourselves to be shackled by rumors of our usurpation of... Indeed. It seems that you understood what I meant to say from the very beginning. I called for the gag order and for the Exuvia to be hidden to temporarily stabilize the situation, and also to prevent something similar to the incident in Mondstadt. With Rex Lapis's death, the Fatui have busied themselves with many clandestine actions beyond their diplomatic remit. As the Tianquan, one responsible for Liyue, I cannot be too concerned with appearances when opposing them. Allowing the rite of parting to take place was also meant to buy some time for us to take control of Liyue's administration.
It's exactly as Zhongli said. The Qixing only provided the venue for the rite so they could use us for their own ends. Wait, that's right. Speaking of ends, could I say one other thing?
Of course.
Paimon's heard that anyone who sends a greeting gift gets a little something in return. So...
It's all... Well, we have made quite a bit of trouble for you recently. How about this? You can pick any one object here as you please, and you may take it with you.
Yay! on that wall. Don't look at Paimon like that. One of these sheets of paper will sell for crazy prices, even if it's only as large as Paimon's fingernail. Just imagine how much more a whole untorn sheet would sell for. Let's grab one, the biggest one.
That personal.
Huh? Well, that was an easy search. The biggest sheet is right up there in the most obvious spot. Let's go with that one. La 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 la. Huh? There's a place marked with a circle on here. Oh, could it be treasure? Whatever it is. Sigil of permission, something, Fatui, research, cop. Aw, that doesn't sound like treasure at all. This piece of paper shows that a Chising spy discovered traces of classified Fatui research on the Sigil of Permission. Oh, Ningguang did say that the Fatui have been up to all kinds of mischief in the shadows of Liyue. Spreading rumors, wanting to get their hands on the Archon's body and whatnot. But research on the Sigil of Permission? Paimon wonders what they're up to. Speaking of which, there's also some connection between you and the Sigil of Permission.
Yes.
Seems there's still more for us to find out. Oh, well, should we not go then? Oh, so you're saying that it's precisely because we can't completely trust Ningguang that we should confirm the truth of what she says for ourselves. That's way out of Paimon's league. Paimon thinks she's been nothing but good to us. Anyway, we'll see if you're onto something. Before we look for Zhongli at Dihua Marsh, let's go to the place marked out on these papers and see if the Fatui really are up to no good there.
Oke, kita ke sana berarti. Terus gimana cara naiknya lagi, Bos? Ya udahlah ya. Oke. Kebalik. Widih, ada agen Fatui, Bos.
There really were Fatui at the location written down on this piece of paper. And they look really mad at us too.
Apa sih isi game? Kecuali yang gak bisa.
Let's move. Shouldn't get careless. Have a load of this. Blow.
There are so many talismans here. And some stacks of blank paper too. Paimon's seen this pattern before. Oh, Paimon knows! It looks just like the Sigil of Permission the child gave you. But how did a relic of the Adepti end up in the hands of someone like Child? Oh, that's right. Cloud Retainer said that when the Lord of GEO created the Sigil of Permission, it wasn't to be used as some old relic. Talismans like that were once used in the Archon War to channel divine powers. Maybe the Fatui are copying the Sigil of Permission in hopes of achieving a similar effect. Being able to channel divine power in battle? Whew. That sounds pretty dangerous. And the plot thickens. We'll need to keep an eye on Child, that's for sure. The last
bakal
stop
ngelawan
on our
Chad sih.
rite of parting
Let's go.
preparations tour is Dihua Marsh. Let's go!
Yes, di Mars, mantap. Di Marshmallow. Kenapa cukup? Lagi harus dihidupin. Nggak pakai air. Buang air. Biar cepet. Lewat sini kan.
Animal test 6308.
Wah, kakak precious chest, bos. Ini apa lagi? Oke, kita ke Dihua Mars dulu, guys. Nah, lihat sini aja. Di sana ada kayak guard ruin guard gitu loh, nggak jelas. Mager bet, mager. Nah, screen ini ya guys. Ya, habis tenaganya habis.
Right on time. I myself only arrived moments ago. Did you enjoy your visit to the Jade Chamber?
It was so big and pretty and expensive. Paimon's never seen such a
Indeed. It's second to none in all of Liyue. Then you met with Ningguang, I trust? What did you talk about with her?
She's super rich and so generous. Paimon thinks she's very friendly. Yeah, his take on Ningguang is quite different from Paimon's. He thinks that even the tactless Yuheng is more trustworthy than her.
Oh, so you also met with Keqing then? What did she have to say?
Kecing ya kalau ki.
She said the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue?
No respect for the divine. Indeed, contrary to the ever-bold Keqing, Ningguang is more of a businesswoman at heart, though they are both members of the Qixing. Although she's friendly, there's no way of clearly discerning her true intentions. Yes, she has only relied on herself to rise to her current position. No ordinary person could ever achieve that. It's said that she's the one behind the constant expansion of the Jade Chamber. It's the second most important thing to her. Even if she ever gave up the position of Tianquan, she would never give up the Jade Chamber.
The Jade Chamber is only second. What's the most important thing to her then?
Why, Mora, of course.
Ah, Mora.
All Ningguang talked about was the Fatui this and the Fatui that. She said that after Rex Lapis was murdered, the Fatui have constantly been trying to sink their fingers into Liyue, and that they aren't to be trusted.
That is how the Fatui have always been. It doesn't surprise me in the least. No matter what they may be planning, you must be careful when dealing with the Fatui. Always be on your guard.
get for the rite of parting in Dihua Marsh?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. Today, we'll be gathering wild glaze lilies.
Glaze lilies? Well, why did we come all the way out here? Doesn't the garden in Yujing Terrace have some? Even Qingse Village has glaze lilies. Oh, right! Paimon remembers that Madame Ping is always tending to flowers. Maybe we could...
No, those lilies have all been gardened by people. They won't do it all. Dihua Marsh used to be full of glaze lilies. It is a sort of joyful flower that listens to human song. Before the Archon War, Dihua Marsh was all dry land and fertile soil. But the war caused landslides, and the land was flooded, turning it into the marsh you see now. Nearly all the glaze lilies were wiped out. Of course, there are some kinds of flowers that have been preserved and gardened by people in the city. But very few people know that glaze lilies may still be found in the wild. Wild glaze lilies have the strongest fragrance. If we want to follow the true tradition of the rite of parting, we must grind up the wild lilies and place the powder in a censer of everlasting ink. But I'll need your assistance in gathering these flowers. That's correct.
Okay, singing what?
Your singing will surely bring out the strongest fragrance from the flowers.
So how good is your singing?
I approve.
Really? Why doesn't Paimon believe you?
We'll only know once he starts singing.
Anjas, kita bernyanyi, bos. Oke.
It's time to sing whenever you're ready.
Ya, kita dengerin ya. Dia nyanyi kayak gimana.
Da 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 da.
What happened? These flowers are jumping. They look really angry. Is it because you sang the song for Mondstadt that they don't understand here in Lille?
Venti, lagu-lagu Venti.
Those weren't glaze lilies. Glaze lilies wouldn't hit people.
This little monster is known as a whopper flower. Strange. These petals look interesting. The glaze lilies used as a disguise were buried with the whopper flower for too long. The result seems to have surprisingly potent medicinal value. Let's collect what we can of these petals.
Well, that's nice and all, but will those petals be useful for the rite of parting?
Unfortunately,
That's so late.
Excuse me.
Ganyu. Siapa Ganyu, cuy?
Are you searching for glaze lilies?
Oh, hey, it's... What's her face?
Yongu? Who's that? You've completely forgotten my name. Ah, that reminds me. How was your visit to the Jade Chamber?
Well, it sure would have been better if you told us how to get up there.
Didn't I tell you the way? Surely I did.
Wah, tolol lagi.
Nope,
gila.
we found the way on our own.
Oh, I see. Uh-oh. I guess I really did forget to tell them.
Ya,
Something seems a little off about Ganyu. She's acting different from the first time we met. Where's her serious attitude now?
Ah, well, I met you at that time as an emissary of the Tianquan. But now I am simply out on a stroll to see the flowers.
You came all the way out here to see the flowers? Why not just enjoy the gardens of the city?
Yujing Terrace is where Rex Lapis parted from this world. If I strolled through those lonely gardens now, I wouldn't be able to bear it. Whenever my duties take me near Yujing Terrace these days,
Kayak aku dong.
I draw the windows to block my view of the...
Oh, sorry, we shouldn't have brought it up.
Mas Chandra harusnya yang carry saya.
No, it's quite alright.
I just haven't processed my emotions yet. When the Archon War came to its end 2,000 years ago, the first iteration of the Seven would gather in Liyue and drink with Rex Lapis. But 5 of those original 7 had already passed before Rex Lapis. It's truly a changing of the guard. Yes, now that the spirit of Rex Lapis has returned to the heavens, only Barbados of Mondstadt remains of the first 7. The other 5, including Inazuma's Raiden Shogun, are no longer the same friends from 2,000 years ago.
Ini ya kayaknya ketutupan. Nggak tahu sih. Agak jauh sih miku. Halo. Nah, kalau kayak gini baru kayaknya lebih keras. Ya sih emang.
Of the current 7 Archons, the youngest is Sumeru's god of Dendro.
Ntar aja settingannya lah.
He is merely 500 years old, whereas Rex Lapis was more than 6,000 years old at the time of his passing. This means that Liyue had been under Rex Lapis's rule from the moment it was first founded 3,700. The city has never had to bid farewell to its deity.
Looks like I was the stronger one. Ya nggak, sudah aku setting di ini. Di mana? Di
So what do you
OBS.
think of this farewell?
Huh? This is a little sudden. As a mortal, I've never dared to imagine a Liyue without Rex Lapis. But as an Adeptus, I think I will eventually come to grips with reality. Since Rex Lapis has passed, the time of Liyue's contract with the gods and Adepti has now reached its end.
Huh? Did you just say as an Adeptus?
Yes, I am a mix of human and Chilean. Adeptus blood flows through my veins. I fought for Rex Lapis and the city of Liyue during the Archon War. After the war ended, I signed a contract with Rex Lapis and took the position as secretary for the Qixing. I've continued those duties to this very day. Well, let's save that conversation for another day. You say that you are here looking for glaze lilies? I also know where wild glaze lilies can be found.
Gitu ya ternyata.
See, I've just picked one myself.
Mantap.
Here, you may have it if you wish.
We dare not refuse it.
Yes. Mau bernyanyi lagi kita kayaknya nih.
Oh, so did you
Gaskan lah bos.
Indeed, I did. I know this tradition well. In fact, I sang a local Liyue ballad to it.
Anjay. Bart versi Leo ya bos.
Wow,
Tidak
so
seperti
you
Venti
know your
bos.
stuff too. Thanks, Ganyu.
No, it is you who I should be thanking. If not for this chance meeting, I never thought that I would be able to contribute to the upcoming farewell for our ancient lord. If you would excuse me, I should return to my work now.
Ya,
And
kerja
that
sana
just
dulu.
about does it. Our preparations for the rite of
Kerja
parting
bos,
are-
kerja bos.
Given the ease of picking glaze lilies, I think this was a fitting end to our tasks, in more ways than one.
Yeah, Paimon can already imagine him starting a business in Liyue.
I've had enough ventures in my life already. Beginning a new undertaking is always difficult at first, and requires no small amount of effort. And once business is at full steam, the stress of it all only wears away at you over time, so you must be careful to take the time to step back and re-examine yourself. If left unchecked, the wear and tear on your heart may go well past
Wow. See, Xiaolai sounds like he's already seen it all. Alright, I think it's about time we...
Ya, kita ke Leo Harbor dulu bos. La, kita melanjutkan siapa yang cita-citanya menjadi adepti. Lalu pura-pura menjadi Zhongli. Lalu pura-pura menjadi manusia biasa. Cilde dong itu dong. Ya nggak sih? Oh, Fatul.
The city gate is swarming with Millilith and the Fatui.
Ah, you're the consultant to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Mr. Zhongli, I presume. The Millilith are watching our every move now. These are desperate times. We mustn't act rashly.
Desperate times?
The Adepti of Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to exercise force?
Most likely. I've heard that some members of the Qixing have already gone to meet them. Well, I say meet, but it's more like they're attempting to stall the Adepti outside the city. However, both sides were quite obstinate and hit an impasse.
It seems inevitable, given the current situation.
The Adepti do not acknowledge the Qixing. They only acknowledge the contracts of the GEO Archon. If the two sides come to blows, Liyue Harbor will be in no position.
Surely the Liyue Qixing are not the sort to give it.
Their boneheadedness is known throughout the lands. Yet it's because of that obstinacy that mortals and Adepti are now on the verge of...
And what now? How is it that the Fatui have come under fire?
That's all Ningguang's doing. She proclaimed that in these tumultuous times, the Millilith must rein in the actions of the Fatui. Only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? That's the Qixing for you. Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your actions will reflect on us. Don't let anyone catch you off guard.
Okay.
Looks like things are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
Do you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary between both sides? Or will you use your
sword.
Path is an easy.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the Wangsheng
Sword,
Funeral
bos.
Parlor has also
Kita pakai
been
sword aja nih, gasken.
currently squaring off with the...
Things are taking a turn for the... I'm afraid I must
Lama ya ternyata menuju melawan ini. Menuju melawan Raja Air.
Action carefully, traveler. If you're trying to prevent an explosion.
Yes.
So what does Zhongli mean by looking for the fuse? Oh,
Cilde.
that gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the whole city turned upside down, he must be waiting for the moment when no one is watching to do something really. But where could we find him now? Where would he go at a time like this?
Follow me, anjas. Keren bet keren. Kita melawan yang namanya Cilde. Oh enggak, belum. Sekarang ya? Lawan Cidel sekarang ya, bos? Oh, tidak, bos. Oh, siap. Aduh. Sekarang lawan Cilde. Waduh, mantep. Kok aku nggak inget ya pernah ada rumah kayak gini ya. Nggak ngerti. Wow. Kita mengembara dulu nih. Kita lewat jalan udara, mantap. Jangan bilang kita ngelawan Cilde sekarang. Wow. Enggak sih, harusnya enggak sekarang. Ntar lagi disuruh kesini paling ya. Nggak tahu lah. Anjas. Beneran.
Need my help as usual?
Tai lah.
Wow! This is the Golden House? It looked impressive enough from the outside, but who would have guessed that it was even fancier on the inside? This is where all of Tibet's Mora is minted, right? In that case... Oh, so it's a trap! Tricky. Good thing Paimon's got you here. But even if we can't take any, we can still have a closer look, right? Or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of Mora. It's like a dream come true. Oh, right. It's quiet. Too quiet. Surely someone's gotta be guarding something. Huh? Look! What happened here? Uh-oh. Quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is alright.
Waduh. Ya, kita lawan Cilde, bos. Mantap kali, bos. Belum ngelawan gitu-gituan udah lawan Cilde. Anjing.
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here? Haven't you already seen enough trouble for today?
Huh? Who's there?
Yeah.
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way. Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly find this secret location, don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted effort? Stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia. The Chising are really pulling out all the stops this time.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, it's my duty to see the will of the Tsaritsa fulfilled. She will get that which she desires. I'm not asking for your blessing, and there's nothing you can do to stop me anyway. The time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have skipped that stage to begin with. But I'm willing to do as the Tsaritsa deems fit. Either way, we now come to my favorite part. A simple pleasure, and one that I am oh so delighted to be sharing with you. The battle.
Kita melawan
So you're the type that goes
Child.
into trouble, huh?
You could say that. When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission was accomplished. Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to come running towards the sound of battle now, would she? When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes, and consider the consequences of her actions. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a harbinger lies in crossing blades with strong opponents.
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again!
Yeah.
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. I won't kill you, traveler. I'll just play along, to feel the thrill of battle. Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams.
Pikiranmu aja, Cuk. Sok kuat.
Fighting talk, I love it.
Siap, gaskan.
This chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with a Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint. How unbecoming. You've made some progress.
Not bad.
Guess I should take you more seriously. Haha, good. No wonder Signora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough. Now, show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger. The price of a single slip.
Let night fall!
Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get.
Anjay, 2 kekuatan, bos.
think you had that card hidden up your sleeve?
You were just playing to get close to the Exuvia.
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected. Well then, I'll be taking Morax's Gnosis now. Huh? I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
Anjay, makan dulu lah. Dion aku kalau bawa Bennett sih lebih enak ya. Anjay, Tartaglia, Childe. Tartaglia.
This is going to cost you.
Makan dulu bos, kita makan dulu dengan baik, santuy. Kita jangan makan yang ini, makan yang ini aja. Kita doping. Gau, sakit banget saya nih sekarang. Tambahin lagi. Tambahin lagi.
You got to the Gnosis ahead of me, didn't you? Did you simply move faster? Or did you leak the information regarding the Golden House to me on purpose? Hand the Gnosis over, now. Don't make me take it from you.
Take it? Shadow Raven, let night fall.
Eyes on me. Iya, pulang-pulang. Kesetrum bos. Anjay bos, kita punya kekuatan petir sekarang bos. Mantap.
Child's back to normal again.
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the opportunity to think this through.
Fall Legacy Transformation, oke. Itu ternyata jurus ya.
And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken.
That's what we've been trying to tell you. We didn't take it.
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be?
Anjay, kita punya 7 element anjay atau former power.
You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eyes. But if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend, even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against one another.
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. My quest still beckons. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. Perhaps it was never in the Exuvia to begin with. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a diversion of sorts.
What? So you mean that...
Yes, it appears so. Interesting to say the least. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers beyond the boundaries of contracts. As such, we must now look to our backup plan.
Backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this. I absolutely detest working with those who are weaker than I. The truth is, The world belongs to those of us who desire to become strong. I seldom willingly mingle with any dull and boring weaklings who think
Anjay.
otherwise.
Nah ini dia yang ngidupin Raja Api nih. Raja Api, Raja Air.
Children must all learn to eat their vegetables sometime.
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyan's stone forest.
A god?
Osial, overlord of the vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the GEO Archon in the Archon War, and who has remained pinned beneath the waves by the GEO Archon's stone spears ever since. If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, defenseless without the protection of its deity, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing destruction?
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago. How can an ancient god appear in a world now overseen by the Seven?
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Anjing.
Hey, those are sigils of permission. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, breaking the subduing might of the GEO Archon spears for a time should be no obstacle. Using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, and is largely against my principles. But knowing that such an action will not only force the GEO Archon to show its hand, but you as well, that makes matters a little more intriguing.
Anjay. Dihidupin bos. RK Kadapi. Pro player Mas Nabil, mantap. Enggak lah, cuy. Noob player. Raja Air kita udah dihidupkan, bos. Kita akan masuk ke jet chamber. Kita akan membunuh Raja Air.
Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be
Keren
swallowed
banget
up by
sih.
an ancient malice once
Cal.
more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on?
Katanya sih di sini Paimon ntar pas waktu meledak ada box-box gitu. Wah, ini aku nggak tahu sih. Katanya horor. Kita ntar lihat sendiri. Nanti aku pause. Gila sih kalau misalkan memang ada kayak box-boxan gitu.
Paimon's exhausted. If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known which way to go. Did we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea? It hasn't destroyed Liyue yet.
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the Chising. Is the fighting over?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now and unite
Anjay.
against this common enemy.
Musuh dari musuhku adalah temanku, bos. Mantap.
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Liyue? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pit in Paimon's tummy, even from all the way out here.
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be too much for ordinary people to handle, which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? No. So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is not necessarily.
What? But all of you are
Waduh.
supposed to be the guardians.
Kurang kekuatannya, bos.
Can't you think
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Qixing did once research the matter of the Guizhong ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong ballista with one's own hands is... For what could you mortals ever learn of adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista into an engine of war beyond your wildest thoughts.
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength to man it. We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins now.
Anjay, Raja Batu.
Here?
Anjay, Raja Panah. Fatui, cuk. Anjay, catching. Dapat catching gak sih? Gak lah, bos. Traveler. Anjay, kita lawan dulu, bos. Pakai semua ulti.
The three Adepti are manning the Guizhong ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go help too.
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you. One wishes to witness.
Mana lagi?
By royal decree.
Ayo 6 menit nih. Mana. Depan harusnya. Apa banyak langsung keluar? What is that?
Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
Anjay. Kita berlindung aja.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Alah.
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children?
Alah, meninggal.
Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is Depthal energy. That light from your body. It's like the tiny giant cars. Wow, it's Madam Pink Shockwave. This granny's really strong.
Woi, lo.
injury by the wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon.
Anjay. Kita makan doping dulu, guys.
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
Anjay, cepet jadi. Mana nih?
Child, you are strong in body and spirit, but perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Wah, kakak. Wah, kakak. Wah, kakak.
I fear that the god's power has reached its peak.
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
Nggak meninggal. Hihi. Oh, belum. Anjas, lama bet. Kita udah berapa punya nih, ini apa namanya? Masih ada.
The Batui's numbers are thinning.
Fight on, comrades. Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
Anjas. Anjas. Keren banget.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Anjay. Kekuatan fusion, bos. Hujan api, hujan air. Air kematian, Cuk. Meledak, bos, meledak. Anjay, siau. Keren banget. Ini ada rusa dan kawan-kawan.
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
Yuk, jatuhin yuk.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
Nah, nih di sini katanya kekuatannya Paimon.
Traveler, lend me a hand.
Anjay, keren banget lah Traveler, cuy.
Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Bom atom, cu. Yang ada di sini katanya ada Paimon. Pas meledak. Nah, tuh ada box. Ntar kita lihat sama-sama sebelum off stream ya. Anjay, keren banget, bos. Inilah story yang saya tunggu-tunggu, story.
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the sigil of permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the overlord of the vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great jeopardy.
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now.
Kenapa yang ini?
It is a testament to
Yang di zoom.
entire life, both as a seeing the
Tolong. Nah, kayak gini dong. Udah paling bener.
means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue 3,700 years ago. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, just as it was thousands of years before. This is truly no small feat, but that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens that dwell within it.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebears, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited by the next generation. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world.
Mimpi doang, cu. Orang dia masih hidup.
Which has since come to be known as, but I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I awoke.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right. That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's It's a story about the four winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that nothing good would come of it.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so why not see for yourselves?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millilith. I have come to extend my thanks to the Adepti. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered as I feared we might be. Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Anjay, Adepti tobat bos, habis ini bos semuanya bos. Hah.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big monster?
Ini kenapa kesini dia, Cuk?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millilith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. Everyone was there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and loads of things that make the harbor so pretty. Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next lantern ride.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Aduh, sombong bet sombong.
Okay. It must be hard being an Adeptus.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection, but it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve every little niggling matter. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti
Nah.
had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, conqueror of demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. The city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place beyond recognition. Fair enough. Away we shall, and return whence we came.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Chising will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view, that is still a thing to be guarded against.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all, but what if a child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out?
Yeah.
But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own. So Rex Lapis never showed up. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death too?
Deng deng.
Paimon doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti
The tab die is oh yeah.
Party that we're organizing?
Yeah. Mantap,
No idea
Pak.
where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshan Funeral Parlor.
Wang Sheng.
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangsheng Funeral Parlor isn't in the best state to receive.
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him where...
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bank.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the... Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this could only mean more trouble. We had better go and...
Yes, kita kena terbang dulu, bos. Anjay maba rekaskan hayu. Salah. Apa sih kok mencet ini aku? Apa sih maumu, kerjaanmu mengganggu. Duh, lapar, bos.
You call this cooperation between harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you must have enjoyed that. Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And...
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of Bards, was it? I'm glad you still remember my name. Ah,
Shinora.
Right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching Hell.
No, don't let her get to you. You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements. And our last battle at the Golden House was almost more than you could handle. So it might be best to keep things peaceful this time, seeing that 2 of the Harbingers are here.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say?
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind. The Gnosis, please.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee. For my promise is solid as stone.
Me.
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of Geo? No, wait. That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky and all of Liyue goes into an uproar. Talk about a disaster.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over.
Wait, What?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed the founding of Liyue, together with the Adepti 3,700 years ago. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks had not begun to form, and that the end of my time had not yet come, until one drizzly day. As I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You've finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself, have I already finished my duties?
Oh, Zhongli.
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained to not hastily depart. Was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? I decided that a test was needed in order to reveal the answer, so I feigned my own death and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their role. Indeed I was. The gnosis which I had kept for so many years suddenly seemed to have lost its meaning. That's right, which is why I continued to safeguard the gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring Liyue back under control?
Of course, and it would have been all too easy for him too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death of its deity.
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the show that you all put on. Why, you even deserved an encore. The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. And hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract, Signora. She managed to keep everything she knew in strict confidence, far from the eavesdropping ears of her colleague Child, just as I had requested. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. Thank you for walking that path with me, traveler. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot twist was the conduct of the Liyue chief. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. But when all was said and done, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue's divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain complete control of Liyue.
Huh? That doesn't sound good at all.
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always...
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me in the dark.
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of GEO ought to thank you for your performance. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo-Archon, Liyue would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you it? Hey, haven't you learned the Liyue saying, don't always call it as you see it?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapolyarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come, child.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Anjay, udah mulai selesai.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade. Paimon has no idea what could be a good trade for a Gnosis.
Realistically speaking, there is no such thing.
Bede. Keren banget omongannya, Cuk.
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. If the deal was of no benefit, then I certainly would not be inclined to agree to it. My agreement with the Cryo Archon will be the last of my contracts as the GEO Archon. My contract to end all contracts. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
Widih. Kita berarti ke Cairo Archon dulu nggak sih? Nggak ngerti, Cok. Anjay, keren banget. Sumpah keren banget, Cok. Ayo next story yuk, bulan depan. Gaskan. Tidak sabar mapnya gede-gede gitu loh. Map kecil gini, Cok. Anjay kecil. 50 giga apalagi ya jadinya ntar Genshin Impact.
Although the star of the show is fake, we've spent so much time trying to organize it. It would be a real shame not to go there now.
Sana dulu, guys. Ada mana ya? Nah, nggak kuat. Dancing in my room, staying with me.
Oh, well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, I guess it means that those rooms...
So Rex Lapis is really...
Oh, come on. There's only one real possibility.
Fatui?
Shh.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since...
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heat...
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and...
Now that you mention it, that's very... I mean, it all fits together. Still, what's...
forget it. Hear ye all! The Chising's words. Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. This is common knowledge.
Kenapa nggak pakai ini ya, speaker aja?
Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their
Orang punya
seasons.
kekuatan listrik kan ya?
So too must
Bikin
they
kabel
face
gitu kan?
divinely
Gagah,
appointed
bos.
trials. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis, having been thwarted in his trial, nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Diamond needs a translation on what the Chisings announced. So that's how something feels off. Could the Chising... Did Zhongli tell them in secret after? Exactly, right? Ooh, seem...
Ya, kita lihat dulu.
Look, it's Ningguang and Kuching. Are they saying something?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous, but blinded by our prosperity.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build...
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking...
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young.
The Liyue Chising always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see
Oh.
far and our reach is long.
Utang.
Name your
Mau apa nih?
price. You did.
Whoa.
Anjay.
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Ah. Dia kan nyari saudaranya ya.
But it's well.
As for the
Perhaps.
Anjay, Zhongli memperhatikan dari jauh-jauh.
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in, and here you are looking all.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the... Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you...
That sounds like big talk.
Emang punya uang dia.
You're right. I do like the Mora. As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by this. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon. So I had to...
Oh, no wonder. Paimon gets it now. But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say it like that. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange... The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli. That is true. I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is presently closed. The Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue prefer to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Right?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu,
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the case. It wasn't that bad last year. Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there? Just how did Inazuma become a closed nation?
it's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look up. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes, it was an order.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that they should be under the sole dominion of divinity.
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Animal Archon is the god of freedom, and the GEO Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to eliminate any unstable elements that could pose a threat to her eternal realm. The fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most
Aku harus
fond of,
ngeliatin
proclaiming
itu
that
sih,
to pray
apa?
to her people.
Ini apa? Teori-teori Genshin
7
Impact.
ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity is nearest unto heaven. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
Terima pertemanan. Siapa namamu, Mi?
Ah, that was a good one. Failing a divine trial. How they came up with that excuse, I will never know. That said, the reason why the Qixing were so eager to resolve the incident, I hinted as much to the Adepti as well. How did I accomplish that, you ask? Have you ever heard of this particularly convenient Adepti art known as gifting dreams and visions? All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
Yeah, about that. Before the Cheesing made their announcement, we listened to a...
These are indeed false accusations. I've heard that Ningguang... those poor Snezhnayan diplomats. If it were not for Child's exalted position as a harbinger, I'm certain that they would have shifted all right then. Was there
namamu
anything
apa,
else
Mi?
you wish to know?
That's right. Zhongli, now that you don't have your gnosis, what's going to happen to all the Mora in Tibet? Since Morax is dead, are they all just going to disappear? Also, isn't the Golden House the only mint in the entire continent? Will it even continue to work?
The Mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for a lengthy period of time, since creating Mora requires the use of the GEO Archon's power.
Oke. Habis ini ya.
This is terrible. We're all about to run out of Mora. The world is coming to an end.
Yes, this is indeed a major... well, I suppose we'll just leave such troublesome matters to the Liyue Qixing to debate.
Then, did you at least set some private funds aside for yourself?
Oh, a private fund. This does seem like a good, logical, common sense idea. It's a
What's a shame?
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time. All right then. Was there anything else you... Well then, I suppose...
Yeah, kita selesai dulu guys. Udah selesai chapter 1 act 3. Mantap banget bos. Udah mau naik 36 aja nih. Mantap, kita bisa upgrade bos. Ih. Anjay, C7 C6. Mantap banget. Apa tuh? Kita ambil misinya dulu, terus kita lihat videonya yang kita udah rekam tadi ya. Yang keren banget. Kita ambil misinya aja. Ya. Ayo cepat. Iya, Cuk. No, I don't. Alright, sure. Yes, mantap. Dah. Terima pertemanan.
I can't wait to see my adorable daughter.
Terima pertemanan dulu. Oke, AR31 nih, mantap banget. Semangat menuju. Pantom lagi main, Fahmi lagi main. Oke, aku udah AR35 menuju titik 6. Achievement kita selesaiin dulu semua. Anjay, obtain 5 artifak udah bos. Ini banyak banget panen bos. Panen dulu guys. Wish Zhongli banner, mantap banget, lagi dikit cuk. Oke, kapan-kapan aja, aku mau ngambil misi-misi yang gak jelas nih. Gimana nih? Bawah. Ada orang di atas berarti. Kenapa baru kebuka sekarang ya? Nggak ngerti, Cuk. Ya udah. Oke, kita sekarang melihat. Kita sekarang mau melihat videonya yang tadi. Kita stop recording dulu. Terus kita lihat videonya. 6 GB, mantap. Terus kita
I created another universe and founded paradise for I, Fischl, and the Prinzessin der Verirrt.
Oke. Kita mute dulu ya yang di Genshin Impact yang tadi. Oke, sekarang kita lihat videonya yang tadi ya. Penasaran, cuy. Ganyu. Siapa Ganyu, cuy?
Are you searching?
That's seen once her mission was accomplished as well.
Anjay, catching. Dapat catching gak sih? Gak lah, bos. Mana ya? Nah, tuh ada box. Yang ada di sini. Nih. Gua matok. Kita slow. Mana cara slow? Gimana cara ini ya? Cepetin ya. Lambatin. Video track. Render setting. Ya udah. Cuk. Yang ada di sini katanya. Nah nih. Ini ada dapat payment. Nih, Cuk. Ini apa ya? Ini apa ya, Cuk? Nih box nih, Cuk. Apa ya maksudnya ya? Aduh, ini aku juga bingung, Cuk. Padahal kan nggak ada loh dia. Tong, Cuk. Yang ada di sini katanya ada. Nah, nih. Pas mau meledak jebrar kan gitu. Pas. Tuh. Mana tadi? 207. Tom, Cuk. Yang ada di sini katanya ada Paimon. Nih. Apa Paimon tuh nyelamatin ya kalau misalkan Paimon tuh kan kekuatan unknown god kan kotak-kotak gitu loh. Gak jelas, Cuk. Ya, mungkin sampai sini dulu sih. Apa? Ending dari stream kita nih semua. Ya, aku nggak tahu juga sih. Ini jadi semakin seru sih ngeliat kayak gini. Kemampuannya kotak, Cuk. Mana ada ledakan terus ada kotaknya di dalam. Nggak ngerti. Ya, kita masih nggak ngerti sih. Ya udah. Kita selesaiin dulu ya, guys. Makasih udah nonton sampai sini. Yang udah nonton dari tadi. Makasih banyak. Jangan lupa subscribe yang belum. Terima kasih udah nonton. Sampai ketemu di stream selanjutnya. Bye bye.